Hello, this is Dave again at TitleSearch.com and AFX Title. In this video, we're going to talk about tax liens, specifically as an investment strategy on real estate. Tax liens represents an excellent way to get into real estate as an investment, as a profit center. So let's take a look at the mechanics of how tax liens operate and what investors may want to look at. Tax liens are a legal process of transferring ownership of a property to an investor. Because it's a legal process, make sure as an investor you're getting good legal advice from an attorney. But in general, a tax lien either is transferring the property or the lien encumbrance itself. It's important as an investor to understand, are you buying the property at this tax auction, or are you buying just the lien and what debt it represents? If you're buying a lien, you want to make sure you know what year taxes are you buying. For example, different tax liens may be sold for different years on that property. If the homeowner, for example, doesn't pay their taxes for 4 years straight, 2007, 2008, 9, and 10, you may be only buying the taxes for one of those years. So understand what actually you are buying as a tax lien. Also understand what the priority of that is. For example, if you're buying 2009, does that take priority over the taxes for 2010? Because if it does, you know where you stand in the order of priority. What steps you have to take to enforce or foreclose those liens. Is it going to be valuable to buy out other tax liens of other years? Or in some states, there's very valuable advantages to buying other debts from that property owner. For example, if there's a lien or a judgment against that property owner, even if it's not a tax lien, it could be a credit card judgment, there may be some advantages to buying that judgment as well, combining it with your tax lien and having access to more of the property equity. Those are some really excellent strategies for investment. Be aware that in many states there is a right of redemption for that tax lien. If you buy a tax lien, the person's delinquent, they may have 6 months or a year to redeem that tax lien, meaning that they pay off the balance and then they own back that debt that you bought or even the property that you bought. Of course, there are some interest and penalties that would be due to you as an investor, but you don't get the property. So if you buy a tax lien, even if you take over the property and the person's been evicted, you may find that you do a lot of work, you improve the property, the person can redeem that tax lien and get the property back. So be aware of those rights on the property. And of course, in whatever your state or county is, get some advice from your attorney to make sure you know what the other proper steps you need to take to validate, enforce, and protect your interest in that property. A lot of times the question comes up, should you contact the owner of the property or owns the lien itself? In some cases, it might be an advantage to contact them right away, to let them know you're the owner, to try to get payment from them. Sometimes people want to wait for that redemption period to end. But again, understand the laws of what your rights are and responsibilities for disclosure of you as the lien holder. Again, knowing who owns the other liens can sometimes be valuable. You may work with them or know who they are to see if they may want to purchase the lien from you. Tax liens can be a great way to get into real estate with very little money, but be aware of the entire picture of that property, not just that tax lien, but are there other mortgages, homeowner association, are there any cleanup liens that may have priority? Doing your due diligence and research can turn that investment and maximize your rate of return or keep from it becoming a liability. If you have other questions, you can reach us at our website, TitleSearch.com, and we'd be glad to help.